So, knowing what you know now about how last season went, you went 7-5. Obviously, it's not how we wanted it to go. Looking into next season, looking to build and improve on that. What, as you're saying, look at yourself in the mirror. What do you think was the biggest thing that you need to improve on for next season?
Well, I as a head coach last year, right? I probably did less coaching than I had done at any time in my career. I'm being the head football coach at St. Mary's in Canada is hella different than what it is being the head football coach here at Florida A&M. So, obviously my first year I had to learn a lot, right? I had to learn how to be a head coach at this level, right? It's different. Trust me, guys. The head coach at St. Mary's was very, very different than being the head coach here at Florida A&M. So, I had to prioritize being the head coach before I could prioritize being the defensive back coach, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that when you get to that Saturday, right, making sure you touch every part of the program to ensure that the product is what you want it to be on the field. You know what I'm saying? So you just because you think they know doesn't mean they know. Like, you got to tell them what you want. You can't beat around the bush about what you want. You got to tell them what you want, So ultimately that might have, just that led to some of the change that we had with my staff, right? I think, I made it very, very clear with the staff members that I brought in, right? I knew them. I've been around them. They played for me. I recruited them, right? So, bringing a staff in that I feel I can truly, truly trust to do the things that I'm asking them to do, right? But on the player side, we just had to learn from our mistakes. I think that, you looked at our football team, minus the Miami game, we were in every single game, and then ultimately had the chance to win it, right? Where there might have been some mistakes, some discipline mistakes, mistakes involving details that affected us winning that football game. Where some of the games that we won, we made good decisions. Mm-hmm. And some of the games that we lost, we made bad decisions. So as a group, right, just raising our expectations, raising our standards, and not making the same mistakes last year, not making those same mistakes this year.